I'm a truth seeker and a truth teller, and I'm very calculated with what I say.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the wildest and most impactful conspiracy theories of the 21st century.
And we know there are many conspiracy theories out there conspiring to erode public trust.
Health authorities hide natural cures. Big Pharma doesn't just sell medicine, according to conspiracy theorists. The industry uses its power to hide and shelve real natural cures, all for the sake of profit.
John Gill, a former highway patrol officer, wanted help for his wife who had a tumour protruding from her stomach. He forked out $3,800 for a parrot cancer cream, and when that failed, a mushroom remedy.
Online forums claim natural remedies for everything from diabetes to heart disease are being suppressed. Why release the cure when you can force people to keep paying for treatment?
And he said that he had got those 3 patients into remission, and they were so well that they were able to work. I just thought, oh, thank you, God.
Garlic, cannabis, turmeric, you name it. Someone swears it's a miracle the FDA won't approve. The belief exploded in the 2010s, fueled by viral documentaries and wellness influencers railing against corporate medicine. Scam artists take advantage of understandable distrust in health profiteering. Scientists say most of these claims collapse under scrutiny. But for millions, the idea of a hidden cure is irresistible.
I just so want to be well. I so want my body to recover.
Alaskan Mind Control Lab. High in the Alaskan wilderness, a field of towering antennas hums against the snow. It's called HARP, a real research program studying the ionosphere.
So HARP does exist. It's a research program. It stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program.
But to conspiracy theorists, it's something far darker, the center of half a dozen theories. Some believe those antennas beam frequencies straight into human brains. The government, they say, bends our thoughts to cause targeted unrest and for population control. Every protest, every sudden craze, every mass panic, blamed on HARP. And if that weren't enough, they say it can twist the weather, too. HARP can spark hurricanes or clear skies on command.
This Twitter user is saying weather modification is real, HARP is real. Hurricane Katrina, Gustav, Isaac, and now Harvey all happened around the exact same date.
Scientists insist it's harmless, but the theory refuses to die.
I have not been convinced by any of the reports to suggest that experiments in the upper atmosphere, physics experiments, are having any effect on our weather whatsoever.
Nibiru Cataclysm. For decades, a certain subset of the online fringe have pitched a unique apocalyptic vision. These doomsday prophets have warned of a rogue planet barreling toward Earth.
You look at the time frame when this thing gets close. It orbits another planet, another star.
They call it Nibiru, Planet X, hidden beyond the reach of telescopes, cloaked by government lies. When it finally happens, believers say it'll flip Earth's poles, drown cities, and tear civilization apart.
So is the story of the Anunnaki and Nibiru debunked? Well, not so fast.
The theory roared back to life in the early 2000s. It hitched a ride with every apocalyptic craze from Y2K to the Mayan 2012 scare. NASA insists Nibiru doesn't exist. But online, every earthquake, every climate disaster, every blood-red moon fuels whispers that the end is coming. And no one's telling us. Earth was sucked into a black hole. What if the end of the world already happened and no one noticed? That's the claim behind one of the internet's strangest theories, that Earth was swallowed by a black hole sometime in the last 2 decades.
Complications aside, there are striking similarities between the black hole and the universe.
Believers point to the Mandela effect, strange physics anomalies, and the growing sense that something feels off since 2012. In this view, we're not just orbiting the sun, we're trapped inside a singularity, living out our days in a warped simulacrum of reality. Mainstream scientists say the idea probably doesn't hold up.
So is the universe a black hole or a white hole? Well, probably not, but not absolutely not. There's no good reason to believe that this is the case, and so we shouldn't believe that the universe is a black hole.
For some, though, It explains why our world seems to have gone mad. California wildfires. When California burns, conspiracy theories ignite just as fast.
I believe Elon Musk is on Instagram spreading conspiracy theories, and it's just out there for people to consume without any understanding.
Some blame secret military weapons or energy beams. Remember the infamous Jewish space laser claims? Others insist the fires are deliberate, part of a scheme to clear land for elites or force people from their homes.
So it's really just a pretty toxic stew online right now.
After the Paradise Inferno and Maui's devastation, TikTok swarmed with shaky videos. Untouched trees beside charred houses were proof of targeted destruction, not just random acts of fate. Scientists point to drought, high winds, and failing power lines. But online, every spark looks suspicious. Every wildfire becomes another battle in a made-up shadow war.
Lead with people to take a little extra time to try to at least double-check the information that they're getting.
The dead internet theory. Ever feel like the internet doesn't feel quite right anymore? Like things have just persistently gone downhill over the last decade? According to the dead internet theory, most of the web's content, social media posts, news articles, comments, maybe even this video, is generated by AI or government bots.
So now all of a sudden, this guy who's got nobody has AI that's interacting with him on this Instagram platform, and it's going to make him more likely to stay on there and interact and engage with it.
In this view, the living, chaotic internet of the 2000s quietly died. In its place, corporations and governments swapped it for an algorithmic ghost town built to manipulate us.
Yeah, this uncertainty is why I think we're super vulnerable.
Every viral meme, every trending topic, every sudden outrage you have seen is manufactured. Experts dismiss it as paranoia, but in an age of deep fakes and bot farms, the line between truth and fiction has never felt thinner. Mass shootings are fake. After the Sandy Hook tragedy in 2012, a chilling new conspiracy spread online that the massacre and countless others never happened.
So with Sandy Hook, what I call it's an illusion.
Alex Jones used his InfoWars platform to claim grieving parents were crisis actors. His followers spent years harassing and threatening families who suffered grievous losses. Soon, every new shooting, Parkland, Uvalde, Las Vegas, was branded a government false flag.
We were right there by the car, by the gas pump 3. And we heard the shots go off again.
The theory warped public trust and deepened America's divisions. In 2022, Jones was finally held accountable, ordered to pay hundreds of millions to the Sandy Hook families. But the damage was already done. For many, the lie will never die.
Part of the reason why I spoke up so soon after wasn't because I was mentally stable, wasn't because I felt like I had grieved enough. I hadn't. I still haven't.
The Great Replacement Theory. In 1973, a French novel painted the picture of a right-wing nightmare. Migrants flooding the West, overwhelming white populations, and destroying their culture. It was bigoted fiction, but extremists treated it like prophecy.
We're talking about the ethnic cleansing of America and the destruction of the American way of life.
Over decades, that story curdled into the Great Replacement Theory. Its adherents believe in a secret plot by left-wing elites and Jews. Their alleged goal is to erase white identity through mass immigration.
The ideology of the Great Replacement Theory, it's a white supremacist belief in a kind of conspiracy. It mixes together anti-blackness, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and xenophobia.
Once whispered on fringe forums, it's now echoed in political speeches, cable news, and viral posts. Worse, it's turned deadly. The 2018 Tree of Life synagogue shooter cited it. So did the Buffalo gunman in 2022. A lie born in fiction now fuels real violence.
This is a historically new phenomenon, and it is a very dangerous development.
9/11 Truth Movement. September 11th, 2001 changed the face of the 21st century.
Later, the heart of commerce and the signature of the New York skyline is no more.
Al-Qaeda terrorists committed a mass hijacking, flying planes into the Twin Towers and the Pentagon. Thousands died that day, but millions would go on to suffer the consequences in the wars to follow. But in the dark corners of the web, another story took hold. that 9/11 was an inside job.
What motivated me to look into 9/11 is I had a student, and he came up to me real excited, and he said, I saw this amazing film, and it tells the truth of what happened on 9/11.
Online forums dissected grainy footage frame by frame, questioning collapsing steel, missile strikes, and controlled demolitions. Theories snowballed, implicating everyone from the Bush administration to shadowy deep state actors.
You don't have the trust, you fall apart. You can't even get out of bed in the morning.
Even as evidence pointed to Al-Qaeda and Saudi complicity, the movement refused to die. More than 2 decades later, it's still echoing in politics and campaigns. Hashtag Stop the Steal. The 2020 U.S. presidential election was called the most secure in American history, but to millions of Trump supporters, that was just the first lie.
I've seen too much pieces of different evidence so far that shows that at this point I would be okay with a revote.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fueled by baseless claims of voter fraud, the Stop the Steal movement surged online, mostly among the same crowd that believed nonsense claims about Obama's birth certificate. It culminated with an attempted insurrection when supporters of Stop the Steal violently stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021.
The mob for the moment in charge, believing they have the right to overthrow the will of the people.
The attack left officers battered, lawmakers scrambling, and the nation reeling. In its wake, 2 competing realities hardened. One documented by congressional hearings, the other broadcast on partisan media. Years later, the fractures remain.
And I think there is just this palpable sense of disbelief that America, which likes to lecture the rest of the world on how to be a good democratic society, is seeing its own shining beacon kind of looking rather tattered by what has unfolded today.
Secret headquarters at Denver Airport. The Denver Airport is the largest airport in the United States by a wide margin. To give you an idea of its size, it's more than 1.5 times larger than Manhattan.
The footage you're about to see has been hidden from public view until now. This archival footage exposes some of the weirdest and most frightening theories about Denver International Airport.
If you're wondering why it's so big, some might say it's because it's the base of the secret organization pulling the strings from the shadows, the Illuminati. Others believe that it was built by neo-Nazis, or that the airport secretly houses shape-shifting lizards in the tunnels below its busy hub.
That is a running rumor that there's lizard people, just like you said, aliens, the Illuminati, that we're actually the Illuminati headquarters.
For its own part, the airport hasn't done much to repel these theories and even leans into them, going so far as to put up signs that say it's, quote, remodeling the lizard people's lair.
Are they really making a new home for the lizard people as workers remodel the main terminal?
Fake snow. We have TikTok to thank for this next theory. Just this year, someone had the idea to put a lighter to a snowball, and they were surprised to find that it didn't melt, but burned instead.
You'll see, it's not melting.
The hell?
And it's going to burn. Snow don't burn.
People began taking to social media and declaring that the snow was fake, manufactured by none other than billionaire Bill Gates, in conjunction with the Chinese government to somehow benefit from this.
Highest setting hot. Not melting.
The process is actually just sublimation, which is when a solid skips turning into a liquid and goes straight to gas. But that's not nearly as fun.
What's going on? Well, we're adding energy to this snow, and it's undergoing something called sublimation. That's what happens when you skip the liquid step of water and you go straight to a gas.
The FDA has the cure for cancer. This next theory is logical in at least one premise. It is true that Big Pharma, or the global pharmaceutical industry, has a reputation for hiking up their prices to make a profit.
Martin Shkreli is the former CEO of Turing Pharmaceutical, who's responsible for hiking the price of at least one drug by 5,000%.
Conspiracy theorists therefore latched onto the idea that it actually has discovered a cure for cancer already, but withholds it from the public in order to continue selling overpriced drugs.
Has the pharmaceutical industry's thirst for profit become a threat to our public health systems?
We're not going to defend Big Pharma, But we are going to point out that keeping a secret of that caliber is not only supervillain level stuff, but would also be next to impossible to manage.
Apparently, it's a big deal. People are calling it the crime of the century and stuff like that. But, am I upset? No, I am not. A little.
Chemtrails. One of the more popular conspiracies on the list, many people believe that the streaks left behind by airplanes are chemicals designed for a variety of functions, including sterilization, mind control, or weather control.
Followers convinced something evil and secret is going on.
See, and look it. It's got that pattern.
Theorists point towards these exhaust trails as visual evidence of this poisoning, but science again explains this phenomenon, which is actually just caused by gases cooling enough to condense into clouds.
The water vapor molecules latch onto the particles like carbon, allowing the water in its gas form to collect into floating bits of liquid, or, because it's so cold, tiny ice crystals.
If a mass conspiracy was at hand, any researchers or universities would be eager to unveil such a massive cover-up, but so far, no one has blown the whistle.
There'd have to be thousands of people involved to move that much material. And to do that, those thousands of people would have to have some idea what was going on, and all of this would have to do something that was horrible. And there's sort of no chance that somebody wouldn't speak out with high-quality evidence.
Vaccines cause autism. This conspiracy theory has always been popular, but experienced a resurgence for obvious reasons since the emergence of COVID-19.
A vaccine may be with us, but it comes with a flare-up in the age-old struggle with anti-vaxxers, whose damaging narratives appear to be growing in strength.
Many people believe that vaccines cause a variety of disorders, especially autism.
Without a doubt in my mind, I believe vaccinations triggered Evan's autism. So I think they need to wake up and stop hurting our kids.
This conspiracy was born by a since retracted 1998 paper that linked the two. But Britain's General Medical Council determined that lead scientist Andrew Wakefield acted unethically towards the children of the study and accepted money from lawyers who were, at the time, in dispute with vaccine manufacturers.
The doctor who started all this in the late 90s has been thoroughly discredited. He's actually barred from practicing medicine from Britain because he made up his numbers.
Nevertheless, a mistrust of vaccines has continued to plague the world, despite the fact that many are mandatory to attend school in the first place. The Earth is flat. Nowhere near a new theory, it nonetheless has remained popular in the 21st century, despite photographic evidence to the contrary. Some prominent celebrities have backed the conspiracy, claiming that the Earth is not a sphere like the Sun and the Moon are, but rather it is flat and stationary in space.
You went on a podcast and you said the Earth, you believe the Earth was flat. Do you actually, do you want to reel that in, or you still believe the Earth is flat?
The scientist Eratosthenes actually measured the Earth's circumference around 240 BCE by measuring the angle of shadows on the surface of the Earth.
How could it be, Eratosthenes asked, that at the same instant there was no shadow at Syene and a very substantial shadow at Alexandria?
However, even with contemporary science, the belief remains. Other theorists contend that the Earth is not flat, but hollow, with an entire civilization living inside our planet.
Some ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest that according to our earliest mythologies, an other Earth might not be found in the heavens, but deep within our own planet.
5G causes disease. 5G refers to the 5th generation of broadband cellular network technology. This has us asking, what's so sketchy about the number 5? No one had any issue with 4G, but 5G seems to be the harbinger of diseases like the coronavirus, according to some.
Has retirement made you go completely insane?
No, but the 5G radio waves in the air have, which you can read all about in my new manifesto, available on Kindle.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Conspiracy theorists claim that 5G wireless technology in cell phones somehow transmits deadly diseases, such as cancer, to those around them. Part of the belief is somewhat rational, as 5G does emit radiation, albeit a harmless kind.
Fortunately, 5G radiation is non-ionizing, completely different to radiation from the sun or from X-rays.
Nonetheless, some have jumped to the conclusion that 5G is the culprit of COVID, going so far as to tear down and vandalize 5G towers.
For police in Quebec, this has fast become a familiar sight. A cellular tower set ablaze. In 1 week, police responded to 7 similar fires, all targeting cell towers.
COVID-19 was engineered by the media. 2020 was not only a breeding ground for the COVID virus, but for conspiracies surrounding the virus itself.
The advantage of saying false things is they don't have to be true, and so you can make them nice, easy, pat stories that are really comforting to believe. And that's what makes it really difficult to fight back against.
Another conspiracy involving population control of sorts. This one says that COVID is a fabrication by the media and global elite as a way to control the population through microchips and mask mandates. These have all been proven wrong many times, but the belief persists nonetheless, partly because of the distrust of government officials.
I got a solution.
That's what you said last time, dipshit.
I got a solution. You're a dick. South Carolina, what's up?
Nonetheless, COVID is a very real virus that everyone should take seriously.
Are you going to allow the government to tell you you have to wear a mask?
There is no evidence that wearing a mask will brainwash you. QAnon. What started out as speculation on the website 4chan has devolved into a conspiracy involving pizza chains and pedophilia, blood-drinking, Satan-worshipping politicians, and President Donald Trump as a savior.
But the most important defining characteristic about QAnon is that it is a political conspiracy theory. It's chiefly a pro-Trump one. QAnon followers consider President Trump their savior.
The theory went that the bloodthirsty, pedophilic elite, mainly Democrats, of course, would be outed by Trump and arrested en masse. But every prediction so far has failed to come true.
And Trump, who fanned the flames of Q, hasn't been in office in 10 months. Yet the wild theories that have helped fuel the movement live on, undaunted by logic, truth, or reality.
It should go without saying that this theory is unproven. Still, QAnon has a very dedicated following and dominated headlines for several years.
Do you have any questions, Craig?
So does Oprah drink the same blood as Obama, or is it usually a different kid?
It's kids from all over the world.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into settings and switch on your notifications. Jeffrey Epstein was killed. This might be the most widely believed conspiracy on the list, as only a small percentage of Americans believe Jeffrey Epstein took his own life. But it is nonetheless just a hypothesis due to lack of evidence.
Why wasn't anyone watching Epstein in jail? How was he allowed to take his own life?
Convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his prison cell while he was awaiting trial for sex trafficking. And authorities, along with the New York City medical examiner, declared his death was caused by hanging.
I think it's the never-ending story. Did he kill himself? Was he killed? Was there a hideout? Did, one of these powerful men pay a prison guard to kill him?
Due to the many mishaps by the justice system, however, many believe he was silenced by powerful people so he couldn't talk.
We are now learning of serious irregularities at this facility that are deeply concerning and demand a thorough investigation.
It's a compelling case, but there's nothing conclusive pointing to foul play. Which of these conspiracy theories do you think best defines this crazy era we find ourselves in together? Let us know in the comments below.